But the more responsibility you've got, the better person it makes, because you have no choice. You can't turn. It's like a closed room where you can't turn anywhere. Like, you can't run away from it. Like,
deal with it.
You have to deal with it.
You know what it is? Quite frankly, for the men that are taking the responsibility very seriously, you're not allowed to stop. If we call a spade, you're not allowed to just say, I'm tired and I can't be bothered anymore. Hey, what you cooking, B?
Yeah, shoot. You know what? Yeah. Lately, I think I watched a clip from a podcast, and it was basically like a woman, or a young lady, I should say, recently had a baby, and her thing was like, she basically thought she was getting the wrong end of the stick, or the raw deal, by being at home with the baby, and she thought the easier job was for her man to go, or her husband or partner to go to work. What do you think about that?
Right, I think that is the thought process. I reckon if you don't feel it if every woman doesn't feel it every maternity, I think they certainly feel it during the first one, which is, what is this? I've gone from having a career, gone from having a job, going out when the hell I want, drinking what the hell I want, eating what the hell I want, doing what the hell I want, basically, to now being responsible for your child, which takes number one spot in terms of everything else. Everything else goes to the bottom. Even eating goes to the bottom.
Definitely.
I don't think it is the easier job. So I think everyone has a role to play. I think fathers, when you're out there and you're planning, there might be the baby's here, the baby's on the way, or you're planning to have a child, right? Let's be accountable for what we're signing up to. What we're signing up to is actually, you're going to have this child, essentially. Let's cut to the chase. You're going to have this child and you're going to be at home, right, during your maternity leave. What do we get? What is happening in return? You're staying at home and the man is going to work, right? And not only is the man going to work, something I've always said, and I don't know if it even lands with people when we explain it this way. It's funny. Some people think, well, like you said, it's just your job. That's what you should be doing. But I don't think people really deep what really happens. When you have a child and you're on paternity leave, which is 2 weeks long, or add some holiday if you want onto it, it certainly isn't months long, right? A man quite quickly has got to get used to working and having a family at home. I personally have always believed, that a man feels the pain far earlier, than a woman does. It's two separate roles, Ask a lot of men to stay at home with a newborn and to do the feeds and to stay up and hardly have any naps and that type of thing. They would be like, nah, I prefer to go to work. But I tell you what, going to work comes with different stresses, right? Because if you're a man, a father actually, who is participating with the night feeds, participating with all the good things that you should be doing with a newborn or all the rest of the children, changing, cooking, dropping to school, looking after them, playing with them, activities. But actually, you're knackered by the time this child is here. You're on zero sleep as well, and you're going to work. Do you think my boss really cares that you've had a newborn? Yeah, you get a card. You get a card that the whole team is all signed and whatever.
This is it. That excuse flies for like the first week, bro.
First week.
Oh, mate, I'm tired, mate. I've just had a new. Oh yeah, no, it's a week, bro. And then everyone's like, you know what, man up, get on with it, mate. I'm saying we're not here to hear your life story, mate. Yeah, all of us have had children, but the fact is, it's hard.
See.
It's hard. It's not easy.
It's not easy, man.
And I get it.
It's not the easier job,
though. Being at home with the child and literally all day you have to cater to that child. You're basically on call. Like, you have to be there. You have to be, when the child wants feeding, it's not, no, I'm just going to ignore the child. Like, you have to be there. I get it. I do get it. But as we said before, this thing is the two-player game. Two-player game. And the thing is, I think we should appreciate what women are doing. I think we should always recognize that It's no easy job being at home, raising a child, whatever. But at the same time, we're on the same team. Like, let's not forget, we're actually supposed to be on the same team. When I'm going into work, I'm not doing it for fun. I'm not doing it to get away from you guys. Yes, that might come along with it. I might get a 2-hour respite or whatever, but it's not like I'm going out to play football with the lads, or I'm going out to a club or whatever. Like, I'm actually going to work. Like, I'm playing my position in this team.
Yeah, I can't
And
not
that
go
part
to
of it is your position. Yeah. And although I wish I could magically click my fingers and make you not have any problems and make the baby stop crying, there's nothing I can do about that. You know what I'm saying?
It may feel like it's probably the easier job to go back to work, and I think it's easier in the sense of I know what I'm doing when I go to work. When I go to work, I've got my job, and actually I know my route to work and all the rest of it. And as we've always said before, we've said it in maybe every single episode, there's no blueprint when it comes to this whole thing, when it comes to this parenting job. So actually, that is why the difficulty is there. But the difficulty is also shared with the man. No, we're not breastfeeding. No, we don't have the soreness. No, we don't have the fact, the social interaction as well. You got to think about it, for some, we've just come out of a pandemic. We're still in it, right? When I think about the activities that my wife did with the newborn, baby classes, baby sensory, all that type of stuff, right? And I compare it now to those mothers who've given birth and raised children during the middle of COVID, right? Their interactions are very different. Some would say, actually, yeah, well, all of you have been at home, so it should be okay. Well, no, some men actually have jobs where they've still got to go out to work, and actually you're left at home with the child. And actually, no different to COVID or not, quite frankly, the man a lot of the time has to go back to work fairly quickly. Yeah, you've got to go back fairly quickly. So there's 2 weeks. So the social interaction is different as well. The social interaction is not there because you're talking to a baby, innit?
Yeah. The thing is, what I got from that podcast as well was, given the choice, I can only speak for myself, but I'm guessing a lot of men feel the same. Do you not think I would rather spend majority of my time with my newborn child than go to work and spend it with people that I would rather not spend my time with? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, do you not think that would be the better option for me? Like, when you break it down like that, it's like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, I would rather be there at home with you guys. I would rather be there holding my child, looking into my child's eyes all day than go into work and do that. So when you say it's kind of a cop-out, me going to work, or I'm trying to get away from you guys, or it's like I'm getting the better end of the deal, not really. Not really. I'm saying
not really.
Not all men's work schedules are the same, bro. Like, you could have a man that has to work 12 hours a day, and he's missing out on a lot of interaction with his child. He's missing out on, let's go past the initial 9 months or whatever year. He might be missing out on his child's first steps. He might be missing out on his child's first words because he's at work so much.
Yeah.
So there is stuff that we're missing out on as well. There is a negative side to it. It's not like we go on holiday once we step out the door. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, we still got to battle the commute. We've got to battle work. Some people might be managers there. They got to battle their team. You might have a boss who's a bit different. You got to battle all those type of things. And you know what it is? Quite frankly, for the men that are taking the responsibility very seriously, you're not allowed to stop. If we call a spade, you're not allowed to just say, I'm tired and I can't be bothered anymore. No, because you've got a wife there who's on maternity leave. Yeah. And not every woman's maternity leave is equal. Some take a year off. Some take, I'm not going to get into technicalities of paid or unpaid and all the rest of it. Statutory. I'm not getting into all that. I'm getting into some women have longer off work than others. And I certainly felt it. I tell you what, with first child, I remember moving job from being fairly local to work to now I'm much further away from home. I'm missing out. It's the raw deal. Going to work is the raw deal, because actually you get to hold the baby for 2 weeks. And actually you're not holding the baby for 2 weeks, because if your wife's breastfeeding, she's holding the baby most of the time. You've got family round, you've got people around to come and say hello. I'll tell you what, in some cultures, you got the mum round. You got the mum round doing the bath. You got them staying around, right?
Yeah.
So what do you get? And I think, some people defer that, we talk about mat leave and pat leave. Some people defer that to later on because they feel like there's no contribution. It's even worse then, because actually you've got no sleep, the baby's screaming. You hear a lot of men that say, do you know what, I'm going to sleep in the spare room because I need to sleep, because my boss isn't really interested in the fact I've got
time.
See?
Time. Because I kind of knew,
could go work.
I can't get away from this. I have to go work. And there's no point in me being there tired, because no one's going to be looking after me at work once I get there. Everyone's going to be expecting me to work at the end of the day.
That's it. And it's interesting, right? Because over time, there's been a shift in the type of the roles we play when it comes to parenting, the roles we play inside the house. There's probably a lot more men now helping out, doing the night feeds, changing, doing a lot more of the looking after the child. I dare say back in the day, and I don't know how far I'm going to go back, but I certainly remember my mum saying actually she wouldn't think of trying to get my dad involved in trying to doing all that type of stuff, because he's got to go work in the morning. So like I said, it's an appreciation for everyone's role. It certainly isn't easy. I tell you what, it's not easy. I remember wife at home one day, it's almost like she was stuck to the sofa from when I left for home, to when she got home, to when I got home. It was almost like, have you not moved from there? But not, I didn't even mean that in a bad way. It was like, wow, like today clearly was like one of those days. It was a tough day.
And this is the thing, like, what some women don't understand is that if I, like, I'm guessing not just me, but other men, if we could snap our fingers and take all the pain, everything away from you, and you relieve you of everything you're going through, we would do it. But this is part of the job that we signed up for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't have the baby for you. I can't feel the pain that you're feeling right now. I can't breastfeed. There's only so much I can do as a man. You know what I'm saying? I can help you, I can whatever, but I have to go to work as well. I have to go to work. And to be honest, bro, like, what is the most meaningful job? Like, the more meaningful job. Most men do not own their own businesses or cannot control their own hours that they work. Yeah, so most of us work for other people or work for other companies. Yeah. What's the more meaningful job? Being at home and raising your child and watching your child grow up, or going to work for some next guy's business or company, whatever it is. Like,
I know what I'd pick. I know
what I would pick all day long. All day long. So
I think this touches nicely onto the whole looking at the bigger picture. And this is why actually I think even more so, I'm not saying, I believe the parenting job, like I said, is equal. It's a two-player sport. It's both of us are in it, right? But I do think when it comes to certain parts like that, it is extremely difficult. You do want to be there. You do. And you know what it is? Quite frankly, early part of when the child is just born, I think some men go through this issue where the child is like not responding to them in the right way. Why do you think that is? That's because the mum is with the baby most of the time. Yeah. And this is where it goes from. Some men lean into that a bit more and say, you know what, I need to do a bit more. I actually need to try and interact with this child a bit more. Because actually the child only sees me bath time and when I'm holding them to sleep. Some men actually don't lean into it and then they go away from it. They're like, you know what, let me just hand the baby back to the mum because he or she's crying all the time. Then you don't build that. Then you don't build that bond, and that bond. Time you blink, child's 3 or 4 years old, and that bond, if you've not rectified it somewhat, because they're used to you just going work to the point now the baby's now saying, "All right, bye, you go and work now. How was work? Everything's all around work."
Bro, listen,
that bond's
I'll be
lost.
honest with you, bro. You see when I'm going to work here, you see when I'm going to work and my children are literally hanging onto my leg saying, Daddy, we don't want you to go work, please. Why are you leaving? Bro, it's heartbreaking, bro. You know what I'm saying? So to even, for any women to suggest that most men are getting the benefit of that by going to work, you have to think, maybe some are. I'm not speaking for all men.
Straight up.
But I'm saying there's a lot of men who are not. You know what I'm saying? You ask them, you give a man a choice and tell him, listen, you got two choices. You're either going to go to work for the rest of your life and it's going to stay how it is, or all your finance will be taken care of and you're going to stay at home and help your missus look after the baby. Yeah? Ask them that question, bro, and see what comes back.
Listen, it's...
Come on.
Listen, and you said something there which was quite important there though. But you know, it's not. But actually, there are some men who will say, "Do you know what? I need to go work." They don't have to deal with the situation at home. You know, the situation is
honest, bro. Me going to work sometimes is a breather. I've said it to you. It is sometimes. It is like there's too much going on in the house. Let me get to work. I can relax my mind, kind of thing. But that's on a odd day, bro. That's on an odd day. Like it's not the majority of the time. Believe me, it's not the majority of the time.
Nowhere near. And if you're not careful, like I said, I think I was touching it just now. If you don't pay attention to try and nurture your child a certain way, get that bond with your child, your individual bond. I think all children need, 3 bonds. I think, mother's bond, the bond with the father, and actually this the parents together with that child. Yeah, it's a different type of atmosphere. You can check it if you just take a few seconds out, right, and think about the bond you've got with your child, and think about what that looks like compared to the mum, or vice versa. Compare that to the dad, and then think about how both parents, how your child reacts when you're both around them. Listen, the child acts very differently. I'm pretty sure you notice it. Right? I'm pretty sure you've witnessed it with other kids, how the child reacts when both parents are there. So these are the things, and especially when I'll tell you what, when you're having a hard day at work, sometimes it's no better than to go home and just to see, your missus and your child there. Just get some hugs in, just to hold the baby, even if it is just bath time.
Dealing with twats, bro. Yeah, at work. Let's be honest, bro. We've all got them. You know what I'm saying? There's always some. But when you've been dealing with them all day, yeah, and just to come home and feel the love from home and feel that these people that I'm coming home to, especially my kids, they don't judge me. They love me for me. They're like, it's all love. There's nothing else but that. It's priceless, man. It's priceless. So for me, like, I think even the long goal in my head is to work harder, to achieve more things so that ultimately I can spend more time. Because what else are we working out here for? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're ultimately working or doing certain things to get our time back so we can spend more time doing the things that we actually want to do.
I think that you've just hit the nail on the head. And I think sometimes that concept feels so far away. But I believe you have to start demonstrating that belief in all the things you do every single day in order to get it. It's better than nothing. Small step changes towards having ultimate time for myself and my family starts with the small step changes. And actually it hits you massively when you have to go back. I don't know. I can't speak for all men, but I know definitely between me and you. Yeah. When you go back, it's like, the joke is you go back. No one's asking you how you're doing. It's like, how's the missus doing? How's the baby doing?
Yeah.
Well, am I invisible or whatever? And like I said, I'm not saying I'm going to complain about it, but it's the same old sing song, isn't it? It's like, how's the mum doing? How's the baby doing? Are they sleeping well? Yeah. How are you doing?
You're just waiting for your name to get brought up.
Yeah.
It don't come. It don't come.
It's no I'll tell you what, it's no different to it. You would have seen it almost mimics the whole wedding thing, right? Which is like, I had the wedding planning. How's she finding it? Has she got a dress? Is she marrying herself? She's not marrying herself. I'm also quite stressed out. Yeah, and I've still got things on at work, and yeah, quite frankly, we're both still paying this thing off, and all, it's just like, come on, it's all of these things. It's all of these.
But this is for me. It's like this. We need to get rid of that. Wherever that's come from, we need to get rid of it, because
it's trickled down, though, man.
There's men going through real stuff, bro. Real stuff, and partly due to people just not seeing us as human beings, bro. You know what's there? Like, literally sometimes like robots, like, yeah, you just get on with it. You're a man, you know what I'm saying? You don't, man up. Like, that's the whole kind of thing. Like,
we all say it.
You don't
We all
have no
say it,
feelings.
man
You're
up.
trying to get away. You want to go to work and have fun. Like, what? What are we talking about here?
Overtime. And you got a salary job. What do you mean overtime? I've got overtime. Nah, it's one of those. It's one of those things, man. It's one of those things. It's no. Listen, that early stage, and I think some of what we said is more lean towards the newborn stage. Let's be clear here now. We haven't even scratched the surface of when you bring a second child into this whole thing. Because I tell you what, I argue. I don't know. I've got a viewpoint which I think a lot of people probably would disagree with, but I think no child to one child is probably the hardest, I'd say. 1 to 2 is a little bit hard, but it's almost the fear. I think it's the fear that backs up. And for you, I think you're more than qualified to speak about 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, or 3 to 4.
0 to 1 was pure excitement. Like, it was I couldn't be more excited. Then gradually the excitement started to turn into anxiety, because it was like, how am I going to provide for these children? Bro, when it went past 2, I said to my missus, all right, cool, we're outnumbered now. It's over, like, we're outnumbered. How the hell are we going to do this? Like, by the time I had number 4, I was speaking to my brother the other day. He was like, bro, that period, you look stressed, bruv. I'm saying, because it's like, at that time, bro, I was out of ideas, bro. Like we spoke about on a different episode, bro. I was thinking, do I need to go rob a bank? Do I need to go take up, like, have 3 jobs? Like, what was I gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was real, and yeah, man. But we're here now. We move, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
It wasn't as bad. I think you have to adapt, and I think we're not having a go at anyone for having their opinion. We spoke about what someone's opinion was on arguably what she would have preferred, and maybe what was probably easier. Ultimately, everyone's circumstance is different, right? If I could have all the kids in the world and actually money was no object, no issue, right? But actually, if you think about things pragmatically, right? How are you actually going to go and do something? Nothing hypothetical. Let's think about how, the actual steps. Well, when you've got a family, you need to provide for them, and actually, we all know MatPay. Look, go and research it. MatPay is not all that. Someone's got to go and work. If you still want to, especially want to keep up,
it. And it's part of the. It's a role. It's not a separate role, bro. This is all one thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is all one thing.
That's a good
point.
I
think, as I said, there are men that, are happy to go to work and get away. But I think there's a lot of men that we're not thinking about that. Actually, hear what? I've just had my first child. It's been 2 weeks where I felt like I've been in a dream on paternity leave, and I've had the time to really be at home, holding my child, getting to know my child. Then that's it, off. That's it. Like, I'm back into work. I'm back into the swing of things. And it's like, now I have to juggle both things. And I think it's not just as simple as thinking men get the easier part of the deal. There's many, as we've just spoken about, there's a few things to think about.
I'll tell you what the killer was. Wife sent me pictures of them at soft play, or pictures of their child just waking up or doing something like the first thing they've done. Like, they've done something new for the first time. A lot of the time we're receiving that on a WhatsApp message.
This is it.
It's like, that's pretty nice. And yeah, it's again, talking about encouragement. That's an encouragement. It's like, I want to go back to them, or I want to actually carry on working. Don't underestimate, right? For me, at least, I tell you what. Who is it that said this to me? I tell you what, my cousin said this to me, right? He could plot his what did he say now? It's just about plotting his trajectory with the arrival of all of his kids. He can plot where he's got to in life with the arrival of all of his kids, right? And he can see that actually who he was before he had children, right? And the person he is now. And actually just plot them. He's another, a few kids, 3 kids he's got.
Yeah.
Different person. And a lot of that is linked to, do you know what? It's hard graft. I've got to go to work. I've got to provide. Hard graft. I've got to go to work. I've got to try and make something better for the family that I've got. It's all linked to that.
I think it's Jordan Peterson that says something along the lines of, if you want to be a better man, give yourself more responsibility. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's true, like, obviously not to overload yourself with stuff you can't handle, but the more responsibility you've got, the better person it makes, because you have no choice. You can't turn. It's like a closed room where you can't turn anywhere. Like, you can't run away from it. Like,
deal with it.
You have to deal with it.
Have to fix it.
And every one of my children has made me more focused, more responsible, because it's like, even if I wanted to run, where am I going? I'm saying, I'll turn this way, I can't move, I'll turn that way. Like, the only way I can go is forward. Like, I can't go backwards. I can't go back to, who I was before, the attitudes I had before, and how I thought about certain things back in the day. It's not going to work.